husband comes home and he's like, so what'd you do today? I really don't even want to tell you because I don't really think I did anything that was moving the needle. Um, and that's really hard for me to say. I want to make my kids really proud. My boys will say to me sometimes, Mom, um, who are you? What do you do?
You could probably get an additional 2 to 3 hours of your day. That is almost a full day a week once you add that up to 6 or 7 days. One little distinction holding you back, and that 1 degree shift over time could just turn into something incredible.
No, it's spot on.
At no point have we ever had a conversation aside from a quick phone call, just reiterating what to expect here. And I don't know what kind of hangups you have. I think this is pretty cool that you were courageous enough to be live and do it. To give you a bit of a background on myself, as you said, I'm a Body for Life winner. The 2001 year, I learned in 2002, and I thought, as you can see behind me, I've been a part of just hundreds of winners' lives, and I had the opportunity to work with them. And when I first started, I started a personal training company. I thought I was going to just conquer the world and transform everybody. And sadly, when I first started, I had the wind beneath my wings swept away from me, and there was a portion of people, a good portion of people, that just didn't follow what I asked them to do. And I'm grateful enough to say it today. I have a 100% success rate with my clients who do what I ask them to do. And I'm very grateful for that. But again, my passion, and I became so obsessed with the ones who wouldn't follow it. And this was back in the physique development days, and all I wanted to do was change people's lives. And with that obsession, I just became so hungry is to learn what the differences were. What was it? Was it the mindset? Was it what was it? So over time, and interviewing so many people, I've been able to go back to my own experience and pick it apart, and be able to come up with methods. After listening to so many people, methods kind of become obvious when you keep hearing the same thing over and over. It's like, wow, I think we can we can strategically put people through this, which is really exciting. So I don't know what your experience is going to be like. I told you before the call, sometimes these things last 5 minutes. We have a breakthrough, or there's this one little distinction holding you back, and that 1 degree shift over time could just turn into something incredible. And sometimes things can get emotional, and we dig deep. So I really, I don't know what to expect here, but I know that, and this is the most important part, is that you are going to give 100% to this. You're going to be completely honest, and that's what's really going to make it effective. I also want to reiterate that I'm coming from a place of not where I'm behind a podium telling somebody how to do something. I've gone through periods of my life, and have had breakthroughs of my own, that have allowed me to come from a place of lead by example. I have had clinical depression. I'm grateful enough to be one of the ones that have gotten out of it. No longer need medication for several years. I worked one-on-one with Tony Robbins, walked across hot burning coals as he coached me through it. An amazing experience. I was 26 years old, and I've just made mindset a long-term life journey for myself. And all I'm doing is just giving back techniques that I've seen work not only in myself, but with so many other people. I call this method a jam session, as you may have read, and it's kind of cool because it chunks things down. In order to be successful, there's 3 things that are the most important things that somebody must have. So in jam, it starts with the J. And long story short, it means journey. We all are going through a journey. We've all had a journey. And how does that equate to where you are now? typically people tend to hold close what has happened to them in the past. So there's a specific assessment I'm going to make. And under each one of these categories, there's anywhere between 3 and 15 topics that can be should be assessed. We don't have enough time to go through. It would take hours to go through the entire thing, but typically once I learn where somebody's been, what their story is today, and what the hangup is, usually we can identify that. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I'm hoping we have a breakthrough today. The A in JAM means attitude, and that's where a good chunk of things can happen. And basically, we either carry a disempowering one or an empowering one at any given moment, and it can shift all day long. It can go from back and forth. And some people who I know who are in more of a depressed state tend to be more of in a disempowering state, and that means their emotional state, their physical state, the language that they use both internally and externally. And the last portion of it is, it seems to be the most simple, but it actually has the most topics, and that's method. Typically, people can be gung-ho, they've got the right attitude, they've got the right mindset, but there's something in their method that isn't getting them to where they want to be. So without further ado, if you would share with me, first off, I'd really like to know what your daily routine is, and I mean just chunk it from what you do right when you wake up until the time you typically when you typically go to sleep, and at what hours of the day? I'd be curious the sleep times.
So that's interesting because I work from home and my kids are all older. They are pretty much all out the door. So I get up. Usually, my husband gets up at 6 in the morning to get the older two out the door. I'm not really quite that early of a morning riser, but I'm getting better. So I usually get up around 7, get my youngest out the door for breakfast, and so about 8:15, I go out with him, and we get him on the bus stop, and we have a puppy that's almost 2, so her routine is that as well. So we take Keeper out with us in the driveway, and Jack and I and her play for like 15 minutes till the bus comes. And then after that, honestly, every day is a little different. I usually come back inside, do some laundry. Actually, we do laundry every day, get the kitchen cleaned up. And then I sit on the computer. I probably do that way too much now that you're asking me this. And I really kind of go through and try and reach out to everybody that's on my teams, kind of take a quick snap of, what has their last day looked like, interact with them if I can, and, give them some motivation, do some posts on motivation, or, it could be the elf on the shelf today or whatever. So I do my Facebook stuff. And then, every day's different. I usually do not leave the house very often. I spend a lot of time at home. I'm trying to change that now where I'm getting out of the house at least 3 days a week to do some type of networking with somebody, whether it be coffee or lunch, or yesterday I went to Myers just to pick up a couple odds and ends, but I spent 2 hours in there just talking to people and just listening to their stories. And I didn't even bring up my business or my product or anything. I just liked listening to these older couples, and I thought it was cute that they were shopping together. And so I really wanted to just hear from them. I get home. Some days the dog goes to daycare, a couple hours, but not always. And then 3 o'clock, the kids are back home from school. And so I'm shipping them off to swimming or soccer and getting dinner ready. I'm grateful that my husband has a very flexible schedule. So a lot of times he's home by 4:30 to help with all of those evening things. And then we just kind of chill and watch TV together as a family at night after dinner. And I'm in bed by 9:30, sleeping like a baby. And then the whole day starts over. So that's
Cool.
kind of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. So somebody in one of our Facebook chats mentioned, "Hey, it would be cool to get Bill live." And you took that and you were throwing memes out there, and you get these, and you're like, "Pick me," and you
You know,
quickly instant message me, and we're friends like that.
yep.
What made you do that?
I just feel like I I know, like I do know, like I should be blocking out more of my time, and I should be um if this is my business and this is my life. When I had a full-time job, it was easy, right? You got out the door, you had a schedule, you had to go to the office, you had to get things done. And I don't have to do that right now. And I feel like there are days where I not feel like I know there are days, most days probably, that my husband comes home and he's like, "So what'd you do today?" I really don't even want to tell you because I don't really think I did anything that was moving the needle. Um, and that's really hard for me to say. And that's really hard. I don't like when he asks that question. So I thought, okay, Bill, you need to help me figure out how to move this needle, because I don't want to be sitting in this house all day long going, what did I do today? Did I bring value to somebody else's life? Did I move the needle? Yeah, the house is clean and the dishes are done and the kids are healthy, and I'm happy, but I want to be able to do more. I'm doing this, I quit my full-time job for a reason. I think I've figured out now what that is. I just need to now make it a career, and not just, oh, hey, some days I work, some days I don't. I want this to be my life. I mean, this is what I want for my family, and I want to make my kids really proud. My boys will say to me sometimes, "Mom, um, who are you? What do you do? Yeah, you sell some things, but you're not going to make money doing that." And that really bugs me, because it's like, I am going to make money doing this, and I'm changing people's lives because of it, and I want them to see it. And so I thought, I'm not waiting till January 1st for a New Year's resolution. And so when I saw you pop up, I'm like, this is perfect. I'm hitting it now. So let's get it done. I wanna be different.
Awesome. You mentioned you alluded to a challenge that you're having. So
Hmm.
if you were to articulate that, you said that you wanted the needle moved. Can you help me
Hmm.
understand that a little bit more? Like what's your wall right now that we need to bust through?
I don't have a problem meeting people. I don't have a problem talking to people. I don't have a problem sharing my experiences and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the love for this product that I'm selling. Um, I struggle with switching that over to a sale. I always just kind of like leave it in their court. And if they want to get back to me, they get back to me. And I feel like that's not good enough. They need to try this. They need to see how how it can make them healthier and feel better, like it worked for me
Mhm.
and so many others of my customers. But then my next step is, how do I switch that over to getting them to join my team?
Mhm.
When do you change that discussion, and how do you I guess, I mean, I struggle with that, because I don't have a problem selling the product necessarily,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna make a business out of this. I'm not gonna be successful financially if I can't get distributors, get customers to sign up.
Mhm.
And I really struggle with.
Mhm.
I mean, if I was selling way back in the day, someone just said this to me yesterday. I used to sell electrical supplies, like cable ties, those little zip ties. And I could sell those to truck drivers, to people I didn't know over the phone. I'm like, zip ties, thousands of them at this price. I put quotes together. I didn't have a problem closing the deal. So someone's like, why are you having such a challenge with this? And I'm like, I think because it's such an emotional sell. It's such a personal product. It's a personal, I mean, you're changing people's lives. It's not just a zip tie.
Mhm.
So
So,
really, I really do struggle with that.
did you have
I want,
you had this method that you used. Your challenge is the M part of Jam. It's the method.
mhm,
You had a method to sell zip ties, right? If I gave you 15 seconds, I want to wholeheartedly assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you could probably articulate that, write out a certain method that says this is how I'm going to say, and you just repeated it over and over, which is why you were able to sell it to so many people, different walks of life. Is that correct?
right. Yep.
So what you need now is the method to sell a different product.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Danielle is in your upline.
Yes.
So I know that in my jam method, one of the key points, and this is your thing right here. One of the key points is to find somebody who has walked a mile in your shoes and is doing what you want and do what they do. It's the recipe part of method. It's actually the very first part of it. When I work um, with personal training clients, I still do some both online and one-on-one training here in Connecticut. They do the same darn method that I used 18 years ago, and we just bake the same cake over and over and over, and I change people's lives on, like, it's just amazing what happens to people. So we need to find that recipe. And before giving you the answers, because I know what it is, I want to see if you are going to be resourceful enough to tell me what those answers are after listening what I just had to say. How would we get that recipe?
Well, I think first off, I mean, start start listening more to the leaders on my team that are successful, and I don't do that enough. I do, even though my uplines tell me make sure you're hopping on all the lives and listening to all the trainings, and right now I'm not scheduling that into my day. So
Yes.
100% listen to the people that are doing it, and really taking notes from them and following what they're doing. I mean,
Yes.
it does. Yeah, it's not rocket science, but I have not done it. I really haven't.
Yes. That's it. That's it. And how simple was that? This stuff is simple. It's not always easy, but
Right.
sometimes you kind of know the answers inside, and it's kind of fighting some different beliefs that you have. But once you really kind of dial in technique, you just nailed it, and I congratulate you with that. And I'd like to build on that. I'm not sure if you saw, I was in an event on Tuesday, and in Connecticut. There was about 150 distributors there. It was absolutely awesome. We laughed, cried. It was amazing. And when we got to this section, we spent probably 15 seconds on this section. And I looked over to Danielle and Veronica, and I said, tell me in under 30 seconds how to be you and how to make your kind of money. And I knew that we had 30 seconds because I've heard Danielle repeat it before. I've been in some different live calls, and I've heard some of her videos. So I knew it was going to be a little bit of a challenge. In case I was wrong, I'm not always right. I'm not born under the right star, believe me.
Break it down. Right.
So I was sweating a little. And Veronica peeks up, and she did it in under 15 seconds. And they talked about the 842 method. And I
Yes.
looked up to everybody and I said, I'm a submersion freak. I feel like if you really want to conquer something, submerge yourself into it. So I'm going to challenge you. You told me what your schedule was. I would
Mhm.
challenge you two things. One, get less sleep.
Okay.
Between 9 and 6, 7, you could probably get an additional 2 to 3 hours of your day. That is
Okay.
almost a full day a week once you add that up to 6 or 7 days. So you can have a ton more time. I've been able to do that with myself. It's absolutely amazing. It's not easy to get out of bed. I am not one of those, like, roll out of bed and into your shoes and rock and roll. Like, I'm sipping on tea and coffee and everything else. Believe me,
Right.
I know this stuff I'm telling you is not simple, but it will provide you the benefit that you need. The second challenge, probably the simplest, designate, I want to say 3 days, or designate a whole week, whatever it takes, and immerse yourself in everything that Danielle is putting out there. She's got a whole history. I'm sure you're attached to all of her videos, the mindset videos. We know what you really need to dial in on, so you want to focus mostly on technique. I know there's units out there. Submerge yourself. It's, when you sit down in front of your computer, you're going to do probably either hour stints with a 15-minute break or whatever makes sense for you. I would probably sit there, and just get up, and whenever I get up, it's a quick bite to eat or use the bathroom or whatever, and just submerge myself into it, take the notes, and then put it into practice. And then that will start increasing your belief, and a more positive momentum will begin.
Okay.
You'll start to be, and your kids are going to see it, because you're going to get more successful. And how awesome is that? Like, what does mom do? Oh, mom's already talking at dinner about how she changed somebody's life. Mommy's already talking about to dinner about how we're able to increase somebody's revenue, and in turn increase my revenue. And they're going to keep hearing that, and they're like, oh my god, you should know what my mom does. It's pretty cool. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there anything that I'm saying here that doesn't resonate with you? Or I see you smiling, so I think we're off to a
So,
good track here.
yeah, no, it's spot on. And I think the other part of it is, um, I started, I do have, or did kind of have, started out in some different direct sales companies. So, I have, and I did well with them, but they weren't my career. Like, they weren't my business, so to speak. And so, I dabbled in those. I still love them and I still use the products, and I will sell them to anybody that wants them, but I'm not pushing them the way that I'm looking at this. I mean, this is my career. This is my business. And so that's another big piece of, I think, what I've been struggling with is, you know, especially, and again, mostly from my kids, mostly my oldest, because he'll say, Mom, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you doing today? Why are you selling this today? Why aren't you selling this? And so I struggle also with, I don't want people to think, okay, so she did this and now she did this and now she's doing this, which one do we believe? When my message has always been the same. It's, I will bring to you the highest quality ingredients, best product on the market. If I'm using it and believe in it, I will promote it to you. And if I don't sell it, I will bring you to the person that does. I have a girlfriend that does Plexus. I don't use it, but I have her back. I promote it for her. I mean, that's my marketing. I mean, that's what I've done. I help other people build their brands. And so I think it's been really hard to do that for myself because I'm so in touch with it. Like, it's too close. Mm-hmm. So, no, I mean, I think I really honestly just needed to hear somebody else say, get your butt on target, get off the computer and stop looking at, new shoes and a purse, go earn the money to buy the shoes and the purse and learn and just do it. And that's, I mean, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it because this is what makes me the most happy. I mean, honestly, the happiest I've been in a long time personally. And I know my friends and family have seen that. I mean, they've seen me come back out of my shell a little bit. And, spending so many years at home was amazing to be with the kids. But I was sitting in front of databases and spreadsheets. I mean, it's fun, but it's boring. And I'm a people person. I've always been a people person. My mom to this day will tell me I never shut up. But I'm like, that's why I'm in this business. This is, I'm going to make it happen. So
yes, you are. Yes, you are. I just want to caution you before we go. A couple things. One, I want you to reach out to me. Send me, private message me, send me your schedule for next week. Let me know what your new method is going to be for the week, because it's immersion week. And lastly, I want to caution you about that belief that you just explained about how somebody looks at you. Okay. I want to say 99% of that is something that you are creating, and that's going to be a limiting belief. So turn it on itself. Everything that's going to disempower you, you can literally turn on itself and say, what if I don't do this? I want to prove not only to myself and articulate to the world how much I believe in this product, in this business, and how it can help so many lives in so many different ways. That's the type of belief I would try to impress upon you. And if that doesn't sound good, create your own. But I just want to be very careful of that limiting belief.
Okay. No, I think that's great. And, and I just real quick, going back just a couple years as you're saying these things, about 2, 3 years ago, I had some friends that, really turned on me. And as you're talking about this now, I'm like, that's kind of that turning point when I really did like shut down and thought, well, geez, if that's what they think, then that must be who I am or what I am. And, it's taken me a long time to get back out of that funk and to feel the way that I used to feel when I was when I was younger and I didn't have a care in the world. And, this is who I am. And so just hearing you kind of talk about these things and telling me that, yeah, you can do it, it's just encouraging. It's forget about all of them. They don't, I mean, yeah, they're still in my life and I love them, but I don't need, it doesn't matter what you think. If you don't want to follow my journey, then that's great. If you still want to be there to help out, great. But I don't need them. I don't need that negativity in my head. And it's been hard to get rid of that. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh my God, this means so much. Thank you so much for your courage, your honesty. I feel like you went through a breakthrough today, or at least learned something. So it makes me feel so, so good. Thank you for reaching
I
out.
did.
And
Yeah,
I'm going to hold you accountable. So shoot over that PM to me when you can before Monday.
I will do it. I'm going to go put my schedule together right after I get my kid off to work.
Awesome. Thanks, Joyce.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye.